Hi, welcome to Quilting with Lori. My name is Lori Dickman. And today, before I get to my Spring is in the Air blocks, we've got block number 9, 10, and 11 that we're going to be finishing for this block of the month for spring. I wanted to share with you the quilt that's behind me on the wall. I promised you that I would share with you what it looked like once I had it all pieced together. And so the top is pieced together. This was a pattern that I shared with you about a week and a half ago. It's the Log Cabin Hearts pattern. I will have the tutorial as well as the pattern PDF linked below for you. But it was a really fun pattern to make, and I hope that you'll all try it. It's two different blocks. They're off-center log cabin blocks. And so check out that tutorial. I think you'll enjoy being able to learn how to make this wonderful quilt for Valentine's Day or for any loved one. It would be great for a child as well. So now we're going to get to our Spring is in the Air block of the month. And this time, this is what the quilt looks like. And we are going to be working on blocks 9 and 10. So we're working on these two, this tulip here, the tulip flower, the leaves. We're also working on this block here, which is a bird on a twig block. So we've got 3 blocks we're working on. We're also going to put the center of this quilt together. And so you'll have sashing and so forth that we'll be doing. I have a special way today that I want to share with you on how to put some of these template pieces together. So stay tuned and I'll show you that. So for this first block we're making today, which is this pink tulip here, you're going to have a PDF of the templates required for it, and there's also some cutting instructions. We're going to be using pink and light background as well as yellow fabric, and the instructions tell you what size squares and so forth you're going to be cutting. Instead of tracing this PDF onto plastic template, which we normally do, and that's what I've been teaching for all of these blocks, I decided today to do something a little bit different for you. I have printed the templates onto a newsprint, and this newsprint I purchased from the EQ8 website, and I'll link that below in the description box so you can purchase it if you're interested. But it's a thinner paper, which is great for paper piecing. And so this particular template for the tulip block has one large B template that has to be taped together and then an A template. And so I've gone ahead and printed them out, and I'm going to loosely cut them out with a paper scissors, and I'm going to use these 2 templates just like I would a sewing pattern, just like when you're sewing clothing and you get those tissue patterns that you lay out on your fabric. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to use this as tissue paper pattern, and I'm going to lay it out on my fabric and get it ready. Let me show you this. All right, as you can see here, I have placed these 2 template pieces on the pink fabric that I'm going to use for the tulip. I've pinned them in each of the corners. This is just like I would lay out a pattern if I was making any sort of clothing with my tissue pattern. And so now I can cut it. And you're welcome to use a rotary cutter. You do have to lay the ruler outside of the pins, otherwise it'll not work very well. Your ruler will slide away. So I'm simply going to trim around this all the way around and cut out my pieces. So I'll get that done and I'll show you those pieces here in just a second. So I have my pieces cut out. Make sure you include that 1/4-inch seam allowance because we are going to be piecing or sewing these together. So it's important that you have your 1/4-inch seam allowance. And I would definitely save these just like you save the plastic film templates, put them in an envelope with your pattern. So whenever you want to make this block again, you have those templates. Now let's get, we have a 4-inch yellow that we're going to use for the part of this tulip. And then we also have this square, and the pattern gives you the measurements that you need for this square. And we're just going to simply, there's 2 of them right here. I've got them right together. And we're going to cut them on the diagonal. And now we have a total of 4 triangles that are cut from the light background. So now we can put this block together. All right, so I've laid out my block, how we're going to put it together. And the first thing we're going to do is simply take these 2 triangles and sew them to this yellow square. I'll do one side, then I'll do the other side and press it away. I think I'm going to press everything toward the dark whenever possible so that it doesn't show through on this blue. Once that unit is sewn, then we can sew this unit, the pink unit, to that side and press it open. Then once this entire side is sewn together, then we can sew it to this unit right here. And again, press the seams toward the dark side. And then once this top unit is ready, then we can sew these 2 triangles to each bottom section here. And then we'll have our block and we can square it up. Let me show you that. So real quick, we've got this unit done. It's been sewn and pressed. Make sure there's still a 1/4 inch seam allowance up there. That's very important so you don't cut off that top point. Now I can take this pink and sew it here. I'll do that and I'll bring it right back. So this unit has been sewn to that side. I do have extra here, which is great. We'll trim everything up to a 10-inch square once we're done, but I do make sure that there's extra on these blue so that you're not going to be cutting into points. So that part's done. Now we're going to sew this part on here. For these two triangles, I have folded them and put a crease in the center, and then there is a seam right here that I can match that crease to. And I made a crease. I folded these two sides together and made a crease, so now I can match that crease to that crease. And there will be plenty of fabric extending off each side. And so I'm going to go sew those. I'll bring it back. We'll trim this up to 10 inches. So the tulip black is ready. It's squared up to 10 inches. Now we're going to work on the leaf black. For this leaf black that I'm putting together here for you, looks like this. We have, this is the bottom piece that will go on the bottom of the block. This is the stem. And then we're going to be using template A and template B. We need 2 greens and 2 blues, light blue backgrounds. And basically A and B template, they're reverse image, they're mirror image. And so what I have done is folded my fabric, and I'm using one of the templates and pinning it onto the fabric, and I'll cut it out. And because it's on the fold, because I've got my wrong sides together, I will have the mirror image that I need. And I'm going to do the same thing for this light background with this other template. They're exactly the same. So I need 2 light blues and I need 2 greens. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out. Again, you're making sure you include that 1/4 inch seam allowance because we're piecing again. That's important. And I'm using this tissue paper. Let me cut these out and I will bring it right back to the tabletop. So this is the leaf black right here. So I have the background, the sky background here. We can go ahead and sew these together, the grass or the leaf, actually, it's on a grass fabric. Sew those together, press toward the dark. Sew this together, press toward the dark, and then sew the stem right in between these 2 rectangles that we'll end up with. Once that is stitched together, then this bottom section will fit, and then we will trim this entire square up to 10 inches. So here is the leaf black, here is the tulip black. They're ready to go, squared up to 10 inches, squared up to 10 inches. And make sure you save these templates. Again, put those in a plastic baggie along with the rest of your patterns. Now, let's go to the next block, which is the bird on a twig. I have my 10-inch background square cut out here. I do have it fused with a lightweight Pellon. Let me pull this out so you can read it. It's the Pellon PLF36 fusible interfacing. It's a very lightweight interfacing. It's for garment sewing, but it just gives my background square a little bit more stability. So when I'm appliquing, the background doesn't come up into or go down into the feed dog. And that can get really frustrating when that happens. So I do like to make sure that I have my background fabric fused with an interfacing just to give it some stability. It's not necessary, especially if your background fabric is nice and thick, but mine is a thin one. Okay, then I've also traced the templates, and you'll get the PDF of all of the templates of the bird and the twig and so forth. And I'm actually making 2 different birds here, and I have 1 mirror image. And the reason for that, a few weeks ago or a month ago, we did this particular set of blocks. This is the birdhouse on the post. And I'm going to have a little bird sitting down here on the ground. I wanted just to add a little bit more to this. You might want to do something yourself. And so I'm just going to create a bird that I can place on the ground on this one. So I'm going to applique that today, as well as make my bird on a twig black. So I have traced all of my elements from my PDF onto this paper-backed fusible, and I'm using a very lightweight paper-backed fusible. There's many that are out there on the market. Just choose your favorite that you like to use. So I've traced them, and what I have done, I've cut out, like the J is the pink circle. I've put that on a little scrap of pink. I've got the E template, which is the eye. I've got that on a little black fabric. I have the 4 feet because I'm making 2 birds here, so I'm cutting out 4 feet and I'm putting that on the brown. I've got some green here. I'm going to loosely cut out, using a paper scissors, I'm going to loosely cut out these 3 green leaves and put them on this green fabric on the wrong side. And because I'm using a batik, either or is right or wrong. It doesn't really matter, but make sure that you put yours on the wrong side of the fabric if you're using a fabric that definitely has a long side. Here is my twig, and I'm going to place it on the brown, and I'm just cutting away some of this excess. There we go. So that will be placed on the brown. This little tail, I need to trace one more tail. I forgot to trace the other tail. I need 2 of these tails, the tail feather. So I'll put the other tail feather there. And then I have these 2 yellow birds. I'm going to cut them out and put them on this yellow fabric. So let me get them cut. Let me get them fused to the wrong side of the fabric. And then once they cool, I can cut them out on the line. So as you can see here, I have cut out and I have laid all of the elements starting from the back. I started with the twig here, and then the feet, and then the bird, the wing, the eye, these leaves, and now I'm cutting out this pink petal here. Piece of fruit, petal, whatever it might be, blossom. And I'm removing the paper. And of course, you wait until they're cool before you do this. And once you're happy, I did fold this block. I creased it down the center vertically and horizontally just to kind of give me an idea of where the center point was. And so once you're happy with where it's located, I might move mine down a little bit once I get over to the iron. But once you're happy with where it's situated, then press it, and then it's permanent. Then we're going to set up our sewing machine for applique. You can applique using a straight stitch, a blanket stitch, a zigzag, whatever you want. You can use a complementary thread. You can use a contrast thread, or maybe even a monofilament thread. All right, so I have finished appliquing my blocks, and now we're starting on the center of the quilt, and we're going to be piecing it together, but we're going to be sashing these blocks together. So you'll just follow the instructions. We'll first start on this side. I'm going to stitch this sashing piece between the top and the bottom blocks here. Then I'm going to stitch this sashing piece with this pink square in the center. So that'll be a long strip. I'll sew that long strip to the side of this, and then we'll sew this center section to it. We'll do the same on the opposite side. I'm going to sew this sashing piece here between the top and the bottom of these 2 blocks. I'm going to sew these sashing strips together with that pink square in the middle, and then it will separate these blocks. Once I sew this all together, the entire center section here is ready to go, and we'll work on the top and the bottom row. All right, so I have this side ready. I've sewn these 2 together with that sashing strip. Then I've sewn these 2 sashing strips between the pink block. It will be ready to get sewn on this side. And then, of course, I've done the same thing over here. Make sure that you have your strip sewn on the correct side of those rows here. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew it together, and then we're going to work on the top and the bottom. All right, I've laid the blocks out here for you. This is the bottom row. This is the top row, and I've laid the sashing in between each of the blocks. So I'll sew this row together with the sashings. I'll sew this row together with the sashings. And we also have to create sashing that will go in between the top row and the middle section, as well as the bottom row and the middle section. And so I'm going to create, let me grab my pink squares. I'm going to create 2 strips that are basically, it's just the sashing strip with these pinks in there. I'm going to make 2 of those, and we'll sew those on in a minute, but I just wanted to share with you how we're going to create those. So here is another sashing row with its squares, and we'll just sew those together. So I'm going to sew the bottom row, this sashing row, and the top row. All right, I have these 2 strips done here. They're sewn together. I have the bottom row and the top row sewn together. And I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and sew this sashing row underneath here. I'll put it together and stitch it. I'll sew this one to the top of the bottom row. Then I'll simply be able to sew that center section that we've already done in the middle. And then I'm going to do the outside borders, or the outside sashing, excuse me. We'll get that done. And then we'll have the entire center ready. And then next month, we'll be doing the outside borders. I finished the center of the quilt. I put it together on the outside edge. I've placed these outside sashings with cornerstones again, so there's cornerstones in each corner. And so it is completely ready for the outside borders. So next month, we'll be working on the borders. Isn't it just adorable? It makes me so ready for spring. I can't wait now to get this quilt finished, get it quilted, and hung up for spring. What a cheerful, bright, and happy quilt this will be. For those of you who are interested in this project, I'll leave the link below so that you can register for the Block of the Month class. You can start this at any time. It doesn't matter when you started. All of the videos and the patterns remain out there on my website and on my YouTube channel, so you can start it at any time you'd like and have fun creating this Spring is in the Air quilt. Until next time, happy quilting.